Well, hello guys. Can you see that I am back in my shop and it is put back together? It is Tuesday, October 28th, and my, the process of putting the shop back together, this was the longest it's ever taken me. Granted, I did agree with my office job that I would work all day. You can see my laptop set up there. So I covered the office today, which it was kind of busy. So that did slow me down in terms of getting the shop set back up, but wow, it took all day. It's actually almost 4 o'clock, which means that I'll have to go ahead and head home. I've got to go pick up my daughter and then head home and prepare her for dance. So yeah, today just really flew by. I had a couple of customers basically welcome me back, which was lovely. I felt a little bit bad because they came while I was still setting the shop up, and yeah, they were all very sweet about it. But normally when I come back from a show, I get the shop set up the day before I reopen, but yesterday ended up being so long and crazy, and I just heard my email ding, so I have to go check that. Yeah, so long story short, yesterday, after my husband and I unloaded the U-Haul, he had to hurry and return it. We were very close to the window of when you have to return it. So he had to run and return it for me, and I had to drive kind of far to go pick up my rabbit. And so that really took up the majority of the day, plus the 6 hours of driving. So yeah, I didn't get to set the shop back up last night as I normally would have because we were traveling from farther. So anyway, I just spent my whole work day working the office, doing all the things for the shop, and editing the footage for yesterday's video because I finally managed to put it together. The whole time I was on the trip for SAF, I kept thinking tonight's the night or this morning's the morning that I will be able to edit. It never happened, and the video was kind of short for that many days anyway, so it didn't really even matter because I didn't even have that much footage. I kind of suspected I wouldn't get a chance to really record much because I had so much going on, but yes. So, did you miss me for a couple of days? Yeah, so I'm back, and I think I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but I hope to film a few extra days and maybe just post it as like a standalone autumnal vlog with some more crafting and making and all of that. Now, of course, we are back from SAF. Let's talk about that real quick. SAF was incredible. So SAF is the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair. I'm sure if you're following this along, you're very aware, but it is a fiber festival that has been going on, I think, for 31 years, something like that. And this was my first year vending or attending. Last year would have been my first year vending. Of course, Hurricane Helene unfortunately kind of devastated that area, and they did cancel it. So this ended up being my first year. It was wonderful. I've been to that area several times, but it's one of my favorite places in the whole country, so it was wonderful to go there. And at the best time of year, we had perfect sweater weather the whole time. The rain completely held out. It was beautiful and sunny while still being cold, right until we were loading out, which is like something that happens every time I load in or load out. It always rains. It's amazing. It cannot rain for 3 months straight, and then the second I go to do a yarn show, it's gonna rain when I have to put the precious things in and out of the vehicle. But alas, it was completely fine. So my booth was next to Yarn Jam and a booth called, I think they were Plant Pharmacy. It might have been something different. So I loved my booth neighbors. So the farm one was actually really interesting. They were beautiful felted fleeces, and I had never heard of that before, but I was very happy to hear all about it because I was listening to the information and kind of the sales pitch the whole time we were there, and it was something I was not familiar with. So of course, we're all familiar with those sheepskin fleeces, which I personally, obviously a sheepskin fleece, and I don't say this as a judgment, but it means that the animal has died, but the fleeces are so beautiful. And so this group, what they do is they actually apply roving to a shorn fleece, and they felt the bottom so that it's like a nice felted pad. So they're called living fleeces. So all of those sheep, as the woman was saying, still are roaming around, they're still grazing the fields and all of that. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting, and they were beautiful. And then the other side of me was Yarn Jam, Trisha. I had heard of her several times. I had actually reached out to her a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago, to talk about maybe pursuing some wholesale, although I knew that, you know, this is every fiber and yarn dyer's very busy season, so I wasn't expecting anything right away. Just I wanted to put my name on her radar to maybe carry her fiber in the future, because I love dyeing fiber, but I just don't have the time to dye the quantity that I would like to carry. So anyway, it was great to actually meet her in person. Spoiler alert, I did actually come home with a wholesale order from her, so I am going to have some of her fiber on my website and in the store, which is very exciting. I also bought some for me to spin, so I'm looking forward to it. I got some beautiful, like bright tweedy stuff for myself. But anyway, alas, it was wonderful. I had so much fun getting to know everybody. I did get to meet several viewers, and that was wonderful to be able to finally put some faces to the names, people I've chatted with in comments or on Instagram, or even people who told me that, you know, they don't ever comment, and so they've been relatively silent, but that they were looking forward to meeting me, and so I very much enjoyed meeting them as well. And then something really amazing happened. So while everybody's sitting there telling me that they, you know, they felt awkward to come and say hi or to tell me they watched my channel or something like that, which don't feel awkward, please. I love it. That's why I do this. It's very exciting to have people to share with. But as people are telling me that, I am doing a double take because my favorite YouTuber is literally walking past me. And while she does work in the agricultural industry, she does not have like a knitting channel or anything, but it's Jess of Roots and Refuge Farm. She just happened to be walking past. And of course I saw her, and I looked over at my husband after I realized, like, that really is her. And I told my husband, I'm sorry, but I'm about to go be really weird. And so I walked out of my booth and I was like, Jess. And she turned around and she was so gracious, like a princess. And she turned around and she was like, yes. And it was so lovely. It was so lovely. So I went and met her, and you know, I didn't even realize, but she had her camera with her, so she asked if she could film a short clip. And so you may have seen me on her channel, which is like amazing, because I've been watching her really since the beginning of her sharing about her farm and her life and all of that. So I don't know, just meeting her in person was amazing. And she was so pleasant, and it was brief the first time, but she was so gracious and just wonderful. And then she ended up coming back on Sunday and buying some of my yarn, and it was just amazing. So yeah, that was a really fun little part of the trip for me. So great. Yeah, so SAF was amazing. We did phenomenal in sales. It was our best sales event ever, just by a little bit. You know what's crazy? It was a 3-day event. And I did, so last year for Alabama Fiber Festival, if we're just talking finances, that was the best event I've ever had, because I had the highest sales and the lowest cost, because I didn't have to travel, right? So no lodging. For this event, I did get higher sales, but basically the extra sales that I got versus Alabama sort of just covered the lodging. So it equaled out to about the same. So I'm really curious as to how Alabama Fiber Festival will do this year for us, since it's 2 days. And that's in a couple of weeks, by the way. Anyway, it was wonderful. So worth the trip. So incredible. I ate I actually didn't find much time to eat, but when I did eat, I ate the most delicious food. There was so much food there that I could eat. Really great. I found a little cafe called All Is Well Cafe near where I was staying in Fletcher, and they had incredible coffee, and almost their entire pastry case was vegan, and that was exciting because I didn't expect that when I went in to get a coffee on Saturday. And I turned my head and I saw that, so I just got a bunch of stuff and ate it throughout the weekend, and it was just amazing. So yeah, so much fun. I'm so happy that we got to go and do it. I'm very tired, and I'm sort of just looking forward to Alabama Fiber Festival being over, if I'm honest, only because I just went through the long process of, you know, packing up shop, toting it across the country, coming back, or setting it up, then breaking it down, coming back, setting it all up again at my shop. I'm tired, but it's okay. I've got a couple weeks. So yeah, that was SAF and it was wonderful. So I thought I would just share that with you guys. I did actually get some knitting done. I don't have it with me. I'm kind of doing this quickly because if I was to look at my phone, I'd probably see, yeah, okay, I've got 10 minutes. I did finish my Cafe No Face socks. And it's so funny because when I started out the month, I had one finished sock and then I had the leg for another sock, for the other sock, and I just needed to do the heel turn and do all of it. And for whatever reason, I was just not feeling up to it. And then Sunday came around and, you know, Sunday is always a slower business day, right? Like at these events, and it sure was, you know, busy enough to keep us entertained and to keep sales going and all of that, but much more downtime than on Friday and Saturday. So I brought my sock project that day. That was the only day that I brought a knitting project with me because, I mean, from experience tells me I'm gonna have a chance to knit, and I did. And so did Trisha. It was funny, we could see each other through our booths, so we were kind of chatting while we were knitting when we didn't have customers. And I finished my sock. So I finished the whole rest of that sock on Sunday. And so now I've got my 2 socks, and I even casted on a new sock that very same day because I had gone over to Hikari Handmade. I have Trisha to blame for that because she showed me some self-striping yarn that she had gotten from there. I'd never heard of them. She had gotten some self-striping yarn and it was so beautiful. So I went early Sunday morning because as a vendor without helpers, you don't really get a chance to go and float around and go shopping. So you kind of end up just purchasing from the people who are right next to you. But we got there a little early on Sunday, and so I just wanted to go walk around the other building because I was thinking I wouldn't have a chance to go and look. And I went and looked like before we opened at 9, and the dyer just happened to be there, and she was like, come on in if you want to. And so I was able to make a purchase. Anyway, when I finished my sock, I had my husband be my yarn swift, and I wrapped I wound one of my 50-gram skeins and I got started, and I've already knit the whole leg on that thing. So yeah, I did get some knitting done. I finished my last square for the first 24 colors on my Sweet Shop blanket. I would have finished the body for my Olga sweater, but I only had, somehow in my Chaogu interchangeable set, I only had one of my US 4 needles, so I needed to wait until I came home so I could have both so I could finish out the body because I'm right at the bottom of it. And so I'm hoping I might just actually go ahead and finish that project this week, go ahead and knit the sleeves and everything. I'm especially motivated now that it's cool enough to wear those things here in Alabama, yay! Oh, speaking of which, I'm wearing one of my Love Note pullovers. This is a Tin Can Knits pattern that I have knitted 3 times, twice for myself, once for my daughter. Yeah, I'll stand up and show you. It's one of my favorite sweaters, and it was perfect for today. So yeah, sweater weather, working on some projects now, the shop is back together, and I have a couple weeks until I have to do it all again. So hopefully that means a little bit of relaxing. I think I have a good bit of hand-dyed yarn inventory to go into the festival that I don't have to worry about stressing the way that I was preparing for SAF, but I am going to order in some undyed yarn to replenish some of the sweater quantities and to hopefully dye a show colorway since I didn't manage to make one for SAF. But last year I sold out at the Alabama Fiber Festival, so I'd love to make another colorway, and yeah. My work thing just went off. So as I'm recording this, I have not yet turned my website back on for orders, but I will more than likely do that tomorrow. So by the time this video goes up, it should be back up for orders. Oh, as a reminder, I'm not currently accepting custom like dyed to order orders because I need to get through the festivals first, and then I should be able to take some orders. So if you're waiting to place an order with me, just wait until the end of November, basically. And I might even open up a form, an actual form on my website where you don't have to email me. You can actually you'll be able to go in and place your custom orders. Yeah, I'll work on that and let you guys know more. My goodness, this month is basically over. I kind of missed a whole week. being, you know, I wasn't here, and so yeah, I can't believe it's almost over, you guys. Vlogtober's almost over. I definitely will make some vlogs. I've said this every year, but I will absolutely make some vlogs now that I have the camera, and yeah. So I don't know if I'll actually get a chance to record more tonight because of dance, but I at least wanted to just do a little check-in and talk with you guys, and tomorrow should feel much more normal. I'm very excited to just be back to normal for a little bit. How many times can I say that, right? But thank you for tuning into today's chatty vlog. I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate everybody who came to SAF, everybody who provided support, whether that was online or customers or family. Thank you, Mom, so much for coming and watching my daughter. I literally couldn't have done it without you. And, you know, of course, thankful to my husband for helping to be the muscle and all of that. And I have to say, behind every yarn dyer and related fiber artist, there is a team of family members waiting and willing to help out, and it's pretty amazing. Every time I set up at a festival, I see all the husbands and the wives and the kids and the parents and the best friends and all of the people really pitching in to help everybody. No matter how big or small of a company, I almost always see that kind of setup, and it's just amazing. So yes, thank you to all of the Yarny families who help your loved ones do what they do, including mine. All right, guys, I will probably just talk to you tomorrow. Let's go ahead and just say that's what's gonna happen. Bye.